Sarah Chin stared at the blank canvas for the 100th time that week, her paintbrush trembling in her hand as another rejection email glowed on her phone screen. "We regret to inform you." The words had become so familiar they might as well be tattooed on her heart. 6 months. 23 rejections. 0 sales. The math of failure was simple, but the weight of it crushed her spirit daily. Her studio apartment, once a sanctuary of creativity, now felt like a museum of broken dreams. Half-finished paintings leaned against walls like wounded soldiers. Paint tubes lay scattered, most squeezed empty, just like her confidence. "Maybe they're right," she whispered to the silent room. "Maybe I'm just not good enough." The hardest part of the journey isn't the beginning, but the moment you almost give up. And Sarah was there, standing at the edge of surrender, 1 foot already over the line. She picked up her phone to draft the email she'd been avoiding, her resignation from the dream. "Dear Universe, I quit. Signed, another failed artist." But as her thumb hovered over the keyboard, a notification popped up. A video her grandmother had sent months ago, lost in the chaos of rejections. Sarah almost deleted it. Almost. But something made her tap play. Her grandmother's weathered face filled the screen, painting in her garden studio. "Mija," the recording began. "I'm making this for when you need it most. And knowing you, you'll need it when you think you don't." Tears blurred Sarah's vision. Her grandmother had passed 3 months ago, right when the rejections started piling up. "Let me tell you a secret about motivation," her grandmother continued, brush moving steadily across canvas. "Everyone thinks it's this magical force that strikes like lightning, but motivation isn't found. It's built, brick by brick, brushstroke by brushstroke." The video showed her grandmother's hands, spotted with age but steady with purpose. "When I came to this country, I spoke no English. Had no money. They told me I'd never be an artist here. Too old, too foreign, too late." Sarah had heard this story before, but never like this. Never when she needed it most. "You know what I did?" Her grandmother smiled. "I painted anyway. Not because I felt motivated, but because painting was who I was. Success isn't about never falling, it's about rising every time you do. And Mija, the getting up? That's where motivation lives." The video shifted to show her grandmother's studio wall covered in rejection letters. Hundreds of them. Sarah gasped. She'd never seen this wall, always hidden behind her grandmother's finished works. 40 years of no, her grandmother said. "But look closer." The camera zoomed in. Between the rejections hung acceptance letters, gallery showings, purchase orders, awards. They were outnumbered 10 to 1, but they shone like stars in a dark sky. "Your greatest victory isn't in avoiding failure, it's in surviving it," her grandmother's voice continued. "Every no taught me something. Every rejection refined my vision. The pain you feel? That's not weakness leaving your body, that's strength entering your soul." Sarah paused the video, her hands no longer trembling. She looked around her apartment with new eyes. Those half-finished paintings weren't failures, they were practice. Those empty paint tubes weren't waste, they were evidence of effort. She grabbed a fresh canvas, not because she suddenly felt inspired, but because her grandmother was right. Motivation wasn't waiting for her somewhere. She had to build it. When motivation feels impossible, start with the possible, she remembered her grandmother saying. One line, one color, one breath. Sarah dipped her brush in blue, her grandmother's favorite color. One stroke, then another. Not a masterpiece, just movement. Days passed. Sarah developed a ritual. Every morning, before checking emails, before drowning in doubt, she painted for 10 minutes. Just 10. Discipline is motivation's quiet sister, her grandmother had said. Less flashy, but far more reliable. The rejections kept coming, but something had shifted. Each no still stung, but it no longer stopped her. She started a wall of her own, rejection letters on the left, lessons learned on the right. Rejected for lack of emotional depth became learn to paint from the heart. Style too unconventional transformed into found my unique voice. Your struggles aren't your story's end, they're your story's beginning, she wrote above the wall, her grandmother's words becoming her own. 3 weeks into her new ritual, something unexpected happened. She finished a painting. Not because anyone commissioned it. Not for any gallery. Just because starting had led to finishing. The painting was different from her previous work. Raw. Honest. It showed a figure climbing a mountain made of crumpled rejection letters, each step transforming the paper into solid ground. Fear is just excitement wearing a disguise, Sarah said aloud, surprising herself. She was starting to sound like her grandmother. She posted the painting online, not for validation but for accountability. Day 21 of painting through the pain, she wrote. Motivation is a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it grows. The response was immediate. Not from galleries, but from other struggling artists. I needed this today. Thank you for showing the journey, not just the destination. Your grandmother's wisdom lives on. Sarah realized something profound. Sometimes the purpose of your struggle is to light the path for someone else. She wasn't just building her own motivation, she was building a community. She started sharing daily. Not just successes, but struggles. Not just finished pieces, but the messy middle. Progress isn't perfect, it's persistent, became her motto. 6 months later, Sarah stood in her first gallery showing. Not in some prestigious venue, but in a small community space. The theme? The art of getting up. Every piece told a story of resilience. The centerpiece? Her mountain of rejections painting, now surrounded by works from other artists who'd found inspiration in her journey. A young artist approached her, eyes bright with unshed tears. I almost quit last month. Then I saw your post about discipline being motivation's quiet sister. I've painted every day since. Sarah smiled, hearing her grandmother's voice in her own words. The only motivation that lasts is the kind you create yourself. As the evening ended, Sarah noticed something beautiful. Her phone had buzzed several times, probably more emails. But she didn't check. Not because she feared rejection, but because she'd learned something crucial. Your inbox doesn't determine your worth, your effort does. She looked around the gallery at artists supporting artists, at dreams rebuilt from debris. This wasn't the success she'd originally envisioned. It was better. When you change your definition of success, you change your life, she thought. The last visitor left, but Sarah remained, sitting in the quiet gallery. She pulled out her phone and started a new video, just as her grandmother had done. For anyone who needs to hear this, she began, motivation isn't a feeling, it's a choice. And you can choose it right now. Not tomorrow. Not when you feel ready. Now. With one small action. One tiny step. One brave breath. She smiled at the camera, her grandmother's strength flowing through her words. Remember, action creates motivation, not the other way around. Start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. The rest will follow. The video ended, but Sarah's journey continued. Because she'd learned the ultimate truth, you don't find your path, you create it. One motivated moment at a time.